little guy. Little, not what we're after. There's another one. Little guy. We found a pile of little guys. Got 'em. What do we got? That's not a bad smallmouth. T-boned it exactly how you like to see it. Oh, come here. You are a cold bass, and I don't want to grab you. That is how you want them eating it. He's got all 3 hooks in it. It's just really cold. There we go. That's a nice one. Not a giant. We've got 42-degree water temps out here, and just a little local lake. We're just fishing for a few fish that are hanging out like on the edges of I guess a river channel. There's some stumps, there's some hard bottom areas, and the jerkbait's one of the best baits for covering water, getting these fish to commit. I don't know why, a lot of times when the water is really cold, the fish are not nearly as into soft baits. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because you need to get them to react. I don't know if it's just because they're more on a shad diet, and from that standpoint, that's just what they're so keyed into. You know, right now we don't really have much for crayfish activity, and just seems like that's what, you know, that's what they really want this time of year. So there's no reason to try to force something that they don't want. Throw a jerkbait, throw something. This stunner is one of the best ones out there, and you know, we're not necessarily out here thinking we're going to catch 6-pounders, but you know, there's a good opportunity at catching a few quality fish. I didn't have much time today. I just wanted to come out and see what's going on. The ice just came off a couple of days ago, so anytime you can catch fish when it's still super cold out, I'm a happy camper. I mean, there's still ice on some of the little backwater areas. Refroze last night, I should say, because it got down to 25 degrees. But the jerkbait's just so good. You know, I feel like a lot of people now are all of a sudden making it feel like the jerkbait is your go-to forward-facing sonar bait, but it's really like one of the absolute best baits for just fishing and generating those bites. If you think you know roughly where those fish are living, the jerkbait's one of the best baits. And from a from a fishing standpoint, there's no real wrong way to do it. The thing I just want to stress though is try to pay attention to your cadence and to what generates those strikes. So like, I like to mix it up a lot, but a couple of things that I absolutely will do during the cast is give the bait some instead of just constantly jerking, say, down and pausing, I'm gonna add some unusual pops, whether that's an up pop or I go off to the side. If I'm going left, and then I'll go way off to the right. And all I'm trying to do is create a different action. create, you know, some sort of unusual movement that if there is a fish behind it, makes the fish feel like, oh, it's trying to get away. It knows I'm behind it. So if you can impart a few different pops on your retrieve, I think that's really crucial to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is jerkbait's not just clear water bait. I mean, I'm fishing really off-colored water. There's maybe 2 feet of visibility, but a lot of people wouldn't consider that anything clear. And the reality is it's a good bait. It creating a lot of water disturbance. So if you've got some off-colored water, whether it's stained, whether it's actually got a little bit of sediment and mud to it, jerkbait is really underappreciated as an off-color bait. You know, I actually started fishing it on the local rivers, and a lot of times people would say that water, when you got a foot of water visibility, is nowhere near clear enough for a jerkbait. But the reality is that it is 100% clear enough for a jerkbait. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like a lot of people sleep on it if it's not really clear water. Another thing that I really like to do too with a jerkbait is fish it on spinning gear. As you can see, I've got it on a really light action custom rod that I built. It's the EPS. This is the 778 MLF. So it's a medium light, fast action 6.5 footer. So it's short, which means every time I snap the rod, I'm not moving it as far as somebody with a 7.5 foot rod. I'm really just trying to get the bait to dart without actually retrieving it back to the boat much, and a shorter rod really lets me do that. The other thing is this rod is a really soft tip, so even though it's fast action, it's a light action rod. So when the fish loads up, I'm not going to pull it like out of that fish's mouth too fast. It's just a soft rod, and more importantly, I don't pull the hooks out of the fish when I'm fighting it. You know, a jerkbait is one of those baits where a lot of times you have them skin hooked, so you got to be really careful in terms of how you're fighting them. And in my opinion, a rod that's got a lot of midsection bend absorbs a lot of that fight and just allows you to oh, they got some grass, just allows you to battle that fish better without potentially pulling it off. The other key that often goes overlooked when fishing jerkbaits along that same line is to have a reel that's got a really good drag system. So if you're fishing on spinning gear like I am, you know, this is just the Revo X, just a really good drag system on it. But whether you throw it on bait casting gear or not, you want to have your drag set looser than you probably normally would, just from the standpoint of if you get a fish that freight trains it, they're not going to break you off. Your drag's going to start slipping right away, and that happens a lot of times where all of a sudden you feel the tap, you set the hook, and it's just like, you know, your drag just starts peeling out. And the other thing is when you're fighting it and it's close to the boat, you want your drag to slip. You want your drag to slip so that you can battle that fish appropriately. I just feel like a lot of times people just grab the jerkbait and they know it's a good bait, but they don't work it and recognize how there's so many little nuances to being a really good jerkbait fisherman. And if you can get that dialed in, you can have some incredible fishing, especially in cold water. Like I said, I mean, man, I don't know what it is. A lot of times you come through these same areas and throw a bottom bait, a dragon bait, and you just aren't going to generate the same strikes that a lot of these other moving baits, hard baits, will. It's not a secret that a jerkbait is a great cold water bait. That's for sure. Anyways, oh, there's one. That one feels good. What do we got? Nice smallmouth. That's a good one, especially for here. I don't want to get my hands cold wet either. One tip with a smallmouth: if you hold it on the belly, a lot of times they just go calm and they'll sit there and let you get the hook out. These Fusion 19 hooks are so sharp on these stunnas, you just got to be careful. Oh, skin hooked him again. There you go. Beauty. Ooh, that's cold water. Anyways, thought I'd give you a few tips. I'm gonna get back to catching a bunch of smallmouth and get out and fish. If you're in the North Country, see, I'm fishing right on the edge of a grass line. Channel comes in and swings in, so in that case, got me some grass. Yeah, if you're in the North Country, guys, and you had a long winter like I did, even though it's only about 40 degrees out, that sun feels fantastic. Get yourself some stunnas and go catch some bass. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and tune in tomorrow. We'll have another video coming out tomorrow.